Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ingenious eBrain webinar. The today topic is how Fortune 500s turn dormant patent portfolio into profit engines. So we are talking about the overall management of IP, of patents, and of course, how you can strategically use this area for your business. And therefore, I'm happy to welcome you here. I'm Dirk Bolz. I'm the Managing Director and Business Developer for Europe. I will be the moderator today. And with me, I do have one very expert speaker with me. I welcome Dr. Gaurav Talia. He is Assistant Vice President for our business intellectual property, for our IP business. Welcome, Gaurav. And I do
Thank
have
you.
Vivek Patel with me as well. He is the Associate Vice President for Energy, High Tech and Mobility. And both speakers are really keen to talk about today's topic. But before we get started, I give you some information about logistics. Then after this logistic part, Gaurav will pick up the ball and we'll talk about phase one and identifying gem patents. And he will be followed by Vivek with phase two, how IP commercialization packages are working. Finally, we do a Q&A session. So you have the opportunity to ask your dear questions. And then we are closing the webinar. The webinar is scheduled for 60 minutes. We will finish on time so that you can keep your follow-up appointments. The webinar will also be recorded. You will receive a summary by email after the webinar and a link to replay it. During the webinar, you will be muted so that all participants really can follow the presentation. So we give the stage to the speaker. And finally, you have the opportunity to ask questions after the presentation. And therefore, please use the chat button on the top navigation bar, enter your question, and then we will read out them and you will get the answers. But before I hand over to Gaurav, I would like to give you a short introduction who we are, who Ingenious eBrain is. So we see ourselves as a techno-commercial consulting company, and we help technology-driven enterprises really to make the right strategic decisions. And very important for, especially for the time we are in, to do this faster with confidence and cost effective. This is our mission to get an idea where we are. So we have a global presence. The company is headquartered in the south of Delhi in India. We do have offices in the US, in the UK, in Germany, as well as in Japan. As I said already, our purpose is to do consulting and advisory for running businesses, for strategy, for innovation. And anchored in our heritage is the area of IP and patents. And therefore you get really fresh insights from us today. So what is our research experience and expertise? We do have global clients, more than 50 currently. We have 300 plus industry experts. Almost half of them are PhDs or MBAs. We are working as well, not only for large enterprises, we also work for small, medium enterprises. And our expertise is based on 5,000 plus projects we are executing so far. And here's some samples about trusted market leaders who rely on our support to make really good decisions. In the US, you almost find very large companies and large enterprises there. For Europe, we are well established in Europe and really consult a lot of companies. Yeah, this is already an invitation. If today's perspective resonates with you, here are the contact details for the people who are talking to you today. So you can contact me or Gaurav or Vivek. And if you would like to have a deeper discussion at the end of this webinar. And with that, thank you for the introduction, for your listening. And therefore, I would like to hand over to Gaurav.
Thank you, Dirk. Hope my screen is visible at everyone.
Yes,
Is it
screen
visible?
is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, also in the
So,
presentation mode. Fine.
good morning, everyone, or good evening, everyone, based on your locations. And today, as Dirk indicated, we are going to give you a very practical methodology and use cases where we have helped a lot of Fortune 500 companies to commercialize their patent so that the gem of patents means the quality patents come out, and the patents which are not valid, you can stop paying the maintenance fee so that you can save the cost there. So there are a lot of advantages where you optimize your patent portfolio from the commercialization perspective. So you get the revenue from one side, and also you save the cost of the dormant patents which are not aligned to the product market right now. So these two phases of the patent commercialization I will cover the technical phase where we actually see who are the infringer, who are the potential technology transfer customers from the technical point of view. And the second phase will be taken by Vivek Patel, who will discuss how once we are very much sure about the technical phase, then how we are going to commercialize those by discussing with the right customers, right? So the first phase, the objective is to identify the gem patents from the infringer perspective or maybe from the technology transfer perspective, right? And it could be for the exclusive sales of the patent rights or the royalty based or maybe other as per the licensing agreements. So what we are going to do here is, since in the world of AI, we are going to fuse the mind plus machine, which is the semi-automated approach, and the AI fusion with the detail analysis. So the initial process will have the automated process, and then once the data comes from the automated process, we are going to have a detail analysis, right? So we have a lot of in-house customized tools for this deriving the data initially, and these tools are customized. It's not like the tools which are sold in the market in a generic way. No, we don't sell the tool, but that are used for our internal purpose, right? So semi-automated AI fusion with the detail analysis, we'll discuss this in the very stepwise manner. And the target could be like, once you go for any commercialization phase, you have few questions in your mind. One may be, you know, the target company or the competitor where you want to target, or you want to have the global companies to be targeted. That totally depends on your what is the coverage of the patent family. So we are going to assess those things, and the target companies and the competitors can be determined based on the class based, citation based, product line, geography, exclusives based on the how examiner cites the X category during the prosecution stage. Oppositions are one of the major indicators where you target any competitor or the companies. And the global product identification will be based on the patent family coverage, because you should have those patent rights in those particular geographies. Now, what is the advantage of this process is that we'll have a funnel based approach where the cost of the analysis keep on decreasing at the every stage, because we are going to funnel the patent at every stage, and we get the final stage with the gem of patents, which I am coming in the next slide. So you could see here, basically the first stage is basically the, let's say a client or any comes with me with a portfolio of 10,000 patent or 1,000 or maybe 10, 15 patents. It may be any number. So what we do, if it is a big portfolio, maybe a telecom company, or maybe right now the SCP case are going in the telecom, the Vikes or the 3GPP. So they are very big portfolio for the companies. So what we do, we cluster those technology patent into technology cluster, and then we rank the patent based on the legal and bibliographic parameters. I'm coming to that point. So you could see, let's say this is just an example. I have a patent portfolio of an automotive company. What I have done, I have just clustered the technology into various honeycombs so that I can pick each cluster or subcluster, and then I can go for the various calculations. Because if you mix the technology, it will be very difficult to benchmark those technology because they are different, right? So the first is the creating the cluster and the subcluster and picking one cluster. So this is a patent ranking tool. So what we do here, we rank the patents based on the legal and the bibliographic parameter. So you could see the legal parameter is the prosecution duration. So let's say the ideal prosecution duration is 36 months. If a patent gets granted within 36 months, I think that those patents are in nature compared to, it's not always true, but they are in the ideal cases. So that those patents are high rank basically. And maybe with 50 months or 55 months, they will be medium or low. Similarly, if any litigation or opposition are there, so for the litigation, what you do, we have the negative marking if the case has been lost. And the opposition case, we generally see, so if a competitor is eyeing on your patent and filing a opposition, means the patent is of very good use, because there is some technology where the competitor is eyeing. So we will segregate this litigation opposition based on our data here, right? Then legal status. So if it is granted or maybe in the application stage, so we generally take the granted, because the application stage which are yet to be granted are generally not here, but we consider in some of the where the CIPs are filed basically, right? Now, bibliographic details may be the remaining life of the patent, count of cited patents, grant. The next is the granted number of grants, then IPC, then geographical breadth. So these are the various parameters. So other parameters which we also have, like, was the patent cited by an examiner during the X category in the 102 rejection? So these are some of the or X category in the international search report. So there are various parameters where we rank this patent and bring a scorecard here into silver and bronze, basically. Right. So you could see in the last column, the ranking has been done. Now, once this ranking is done, so these rankings are based on legal and bibliographic parameter. Then what we do here in the next, we evaluate the portfolio. Let's say we have a patent, then we see the technology cluster here, and then we see what is the innovation level of the technology, whether it is high, medium, or so. The innovation level is determined by some of our AI backend tool by calculating the trending technologies and the news and all those things, and the current market status in the product side. The technology readiness level within 1 to 9 is defined here, whether the technology is already commercialized or deployed or prototype. Market disruption potential based on certain parameters we define, and the summary of the patent and the competitor intelligence notes we give how the competitors are targeting these technologies. So the ranking is done. We also do the market impact potential and technology. So we have notes with us. One is the ranking and one is the evaluation of the portfolio. Now, based on our requirement, so there is no single step, but we generally take both steps. So we take the union of those both steps, maybe the high commercial readiness level and the high patents. Maybe the patent could be golden there, but here maybe the readiness level may be the prototype here. So we take all those combination and prepare we filter the patent based on our understanding based on the technology point. So let's say here we have taken very high patents and in this case, and there also we have taken the golden patents in this case. Then what we do, we target some of the companies based on the data which we have. Let's say you can see here the target company is 701X, SIRS, NetDAP, D level. So based on the patent, we have a lot of companies. You can see just few companies based on this PPT, but a patent will run multiple superimposition of the product mapping with the patent claims, right? So you could see the target company, product name, product website, and relevance score. But this is not the final score. This will go for the detailed analysis later on. This is just a synopsis which we are getting right now from the automated systems right now, right? Once this target companies and the product website and the technology overlap data has been recovered, then what we do, we prepare a feasibility report based on the product. So feasibility report is basically the report where a mapping between the claims and the product is created. I will just show you a sample how we actually create it. So you could see here this particular patent of the portable analytics device. This is a glucometer device, and the company, the patent is from the Darrow Healthcare. And the problem solved is that the compact device for the blood glucose monitoring is USB-C interface with connecting with a computer. That is a novelty because they connect the device with the USB-C. And we found a product which is high rank and from the Dario. And this is the relevant excerpts where we have identified that this patent could be mapped onto the product, relevant images, and reason of judgment why we have considered this patent in the high category in the feasibility report. So likewise, here one product is there. For one patent, there will be multiple products. And the release date should be after the priority date of the patents, right? So we create this type of feasibility report with respect to the selection of the ranking of the patent here, right? Then what we do, so you could see the detectability, claim strength, and business impact. I will explain how we actually see the detectability, claim strength, and business impact. So feasibility report, you could see here, analysis. Similarly, the title, claim, company, relevant industries, HML is a medium, smart tag, links, release date, and the relevant images. So detectability is something where we see what is the level of map of independent claim with the product. So let's say information to map the claim limitation is easily detected. So in that case, we mark it as high. Information to map the most of the claim limitations are easily detected. However, few claim limitations are difficult to detect, maybe due to we need to do the reverse engineering or something. So that's the reason. And the low is we cannot map the claims with the product. We need some circuit extraction, tear downs, or the reverse engineering. Similarly, claim strength is like claim with a broad in scope, having limitation are easily detected, relatively narrow, and very narrow claims. So we rank this patent into the claim strength also and the business impact. Let's say, right, the Wi-Fi which is 5 and 6 are trending. So the business impact of these technologies are very high. So similarly, we will rank the technology based on high, medium, and low, which we have also seen in the last of his initial automated system also. So this is the relevancy matrix which we put over the detail analysis, which is the business impact, detectability, and claims. So higher the business impact, higher is the detectability, and broader is the claim we make is most relevant. So this is a matrix which we follow based on high, medium, and low. And you could see this is general successful metrics which based on our past use cases. Now, once the client is agreed with the feasibility report, then we go for the evidence of use. So this is the sample evidence of use chart. You could see we generally give you the patents, detailed bibliographic, company, product, and release date. This is an independent claim, product overview. So you could see the first independent claim, the portable patient operable device. This is a preamble. So what we do, we break down nouns into nouns and verbs into verbs. So you could see each of the feature are segregated into multiple elements and mapped with the particular element in the color coding. So this gives the clarity to the client that yes, these products can be correctly mapped once you create the 16 chart, which is applicable in the US codes also. So this is the initial groundwork which we give to the attorneys. So these are the very comprehensive and a detailed evidence of use chart, which is finally taken for the negotiation with the client, which Vivek will take later on. Right now, with respect to the standard essential patent, since I have not talked much about standard essential patent in the telecom sector, so what we do, we identify the standards, whether it's the IEEE or the 3GPP or the video coding standards. Now you could see each, let's say this Wi-Fi standard 11AX 21 to 2021. So what we do, like we did the feasibility report, we also do the feasibility report or the SCP, and then we go for the claim chart. So you could see each of this claim has been mapped to the standard in a detail, right? So we take the standard, we take the patent claim and map in a detail in the color coded manner, so that once this patent is declared as a standardization paragraph, you can go for the monetization, right? So generally there is no entity in the globe which give the SCP tag. So you have to declare your SCP of your own once you go for the commercialization, right? So like Huawei, Ericsson, these companies are generally claiming that we have X amount of FCPs in their portfolio. And this is how there's a competition in the 5Gs, 4G, and all those things for the Wi-Fi sector. So this is a very comprehensive claim chart from the standard essential perspective, where we also support client in identifying the standards, mapping the standards, and declaring the standard as an SCP for their portfolio. Right now, coming to the final is the validity contention test. So what we have observed that most of the clients generally go, once they have this evidence of use chart, they go to discuss with the infringers or the technology transfer companies. But what we suggest, before you go, you should have a quick invalidity contention test of your patent. Because if you go for negotiation, the person who you are negotiating will surely have a validity test. Most of the time, what I see, client does not take this step because this is the very important step. Once the invalidated, your all efforts go into vain, basically. So it's important to have a validity test of the high rank patent where the product mapping has been done. So this, like you could see, this is a patent XXX US XXX, where we have identified a X category reference, Y category reference as per the international search report, A category reference. And then what we do, we also create the non-patent list also, since there is no non-patent in the patent. Then we have the feature matrix. You could see the feature matrix here of the independent claim. So you could see the whole patent could be mapped, independent claim could be mapped onto the particular identified reference. Then we have the similar color coded mapping with respect to the identified prior art. So you could see a detailed mapping color coded. This is a semiconductor PCB patent. So you could see a very detailed mapping has been created to invalidate this patent. So this saves you from further any mishap, because if the person who you are going to sue or you are going to negotiate or you are going to have a deal will surely have the invalidity before they purchase any patent. So it's important to have this task done from our side so that you don't fall into unnecessarily trouble later on. So that's the reason we ask client to have the invalidity contention test before you go for any particular pattern. So now the question is, where do you search? We search on the potential infringer or the products or the technology. The database generally have the product document data sheet manual based searches. Now we have induced the AI based searches also to have the as you have seen in the first slide. Video based searches also we perform. We extract the evidence from the videos. We also, wherever we need the tear downs, we take the approval from the client to provide us the tear down of the circuit, because if the circuits are on the black box, we have to take the tear downs. Image searches, product. So sometimes what happens, the evidence of some of the claims are missing. So we also take the features from the product sales office, from the salesperson, and then we embed those evidence in our evidence of use. We also do the product testing at our labs, where let's say you have a software, you want to have the evidence. We will install the software in our premises. We will test it. We will take the evidence and put there. Basically, it could be any device where, but we generally support the software based testing here, that and the source code review. So even we have any source code in Java, C, or any, if you can get, we also map the source code with the claims. So these are the various databases which we use, and the NPL search also. So I wanted to come to the funnel structure once again. So if you see this funnel structure, so we have discussed the patent clustering, patent ranking, competitive intelligence, feasibility report, detailed product search based on the feasibility report, and creation of the UU. And the last step is the validity check or the validity contention test. And then we declare those patents as the gem of patents for the out licensing. Right. Now, the further thing will be taken by Vivek for the commercialization, which is the phase two. Over to you, Vivek.
Yeah, thank you, Gaurav, for providing the fund insights. So let me quickly share my screen. Hello, gentlemen. Good morning and good afternoon, based on your geography. I hope my screen is visible and I am loud and clear.
Yes, audible is
Yeah,
good. Screen
yeah,
is also
okay,
there.
okay. So in second phase, what we do, first of all, bridge the gap between the licensor and a licensee. We primarily adopt a funnel approach. So first of all, we look at what are the current status of technology that is developed by the company, technology developer, startups, and even individual inventors. And we look at their TRL level. So based on our experience, what I observed that most of customers prefer technology that is at TRL 9 or ready to use. So in the first stage, we build the universe of the potential customers, and for this stage, we look at the various data sources, and also we have a pool of experts across the globe, and we are working with multiple stakeholders and multiple industry like oil and gas, energy, automobile, high tech, FMCG, and food. So such activities, we have a good network. And in the second stage, we do the detail assessment and contact outsourcing. So here we look at who could be the right respondent or participants, where we can schedule the meeting between our clients and their potential buyer. And in the next step, we look at the monetization pathway evaluation, like what could be the overall value, monetary value of that technology. And we also look at the market potential, because current technology could be at TRL 9 year stage or TRL 8. So we look at overall the market potential, like what could be the future market in the terms of the value. And we also look at the return on research capital, like how much our partners or their potential customer can generate revenue through the commercialization of the technology and a product. So this is the overall execution methodology. So here I have highlighted data source, so you can see how our flow of engagement looks like. So these are the some databases for the information procurement. So we have in-house databases and paid databases as well. And for the analysis and validation, we do largely primary, and you can see that in the nuts outcome could be the commercialization of the technology of our client. And here I have highlighted the some research scope and what are the variation area and what are the data sources. So these data sources are not exhaustive. Each pillar, and also you can see that these are the some of the paid databases. So through the paid databases, we look at the market potential and also we look at the investors. So from the pitch book, we generate the data around the potential investor, and we also discuss our client technology with private investor and equity partner as well. And this is the flow of primary research. So again, you can see that these are the four stage gate process. So just I discuss about the identifications of responded and preparing a questionnaire. So before finalizing the questionnaire, we share our set of questionnaire with client, and once they approve or we are on the same page, then we discuss commercialization of technology with potential customer. And these are the some contact outsourcing. So here you can see that who could be the responded profiles, and we will be targeting. So we also look at the peer industries and non-peer industry, because sometimes non-peer industry might be also interested to look at peer industry technology. So here I would like to highlight the example of food industry. So in some cases, food industry also consume a lot of energy. So some technology can come from the ceramic industry as well, because ceramic industry is also energy intensity, like they are using oven and other things. So that equipment can be also deployed and technology in the food industry as well. So and here you can see that in the nutshell what is in it for the stakeholder. So here in the one statement, I would like to say that here our motto is to sell our partners or clients technology, how they can monetize their patent. So this is largely from my side. So I think now we can open the floor for Q&A session.
Thank you very much, Vivek and Gaurav, for your information here. Very interesting topic, and I think it was very good to see how we going to support our customers. The webinar is now open for questions, so please use the chat box and feel free to drop us some questions you are interested in. And meanwhile, questions coming in. I do have already a question which goes to you both. So what industries do you support? Is it because I think Gaurav showed something from pharma, but I understand that there are also other industries. So what industries we are supporting?
Doug, the industry we support is the electronics, communications, semiconductors, chemical industry, energy sectors, automotives. So all the related high tech as well as the mechanical based tools industry. So we cover largely every industry where the technology or the patent work is going on basically. So the pharma industry, just to give an idea, the pharma industry, generally the work does not come much because it is easy to detect the infringement there, because the chemical compounds which are for the generic medicine, as you know, they are generic in, as you know, what are the compounds. So generally they know the infringers very well. So that domain, we get a bit less work in the pharma industry. But turnaround, the process part we get in the pharma. But the core part of the pharma, we do less work, to be very, very honest. Right?
Okay, so important that it's not only one industry. So it's more or less
Exactly.
where high tech is available, where high tech is driving the business, right? Okay.
And one interesting fact I would like to highlight that we are not only working big players, but we are also working startups and mid and small size company, and we are also supporting them in the terms of monetizing their technology. So we have some success story for startups and MSME as well.
Okay. And maybe a second question from the tactic point of view. So how do you see, does a company need to have some kind of a filing strategy? Because I learned earlier, a few years ago, that not every file is worth to make this filing, because it always opens other, how to say, other leaks or other opportunities for competitors or for others to attack you. How do you see it?
So basically for that, the trade secrets are there. So companies generally have the trade secrets if they are not filing the patents. So generally, if you have innovations, the company does not put anything on the public domain else than the patents, basically. But if you want to hide those information, you have to have a trade secret for that.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So that means also that you can help companies to build this filing strategy so that they really
Right.
know when to go, where to go, if it is worth to
We have
go, for
a
example.
we have another service line where it is known as a directed prosecution, where before the client, what we do, let's say the client has a patent, a parent. Now what we do, we look for similar technologies where the patents are filed, and we ask client to file the next claim to make the patent family more rich, basically. But the initial filing should be in a broad way. That's the main limitation there, right? So if you want to enhance your family to cover most of the feature, this is another strategy which the companies are following. The director, they see what the products are there in the market. They try to embed those features in their patent. If the patents are filed in a broader way, in the parent one, right?
Okay, thank you, Baba. So, any other questions from the audience here? This is not the case. I would like just to give you to rephrase my invitation to those who are really following the webinar here. As I said already in the beginning, if the perspective we presented today is really resonate with your actions and your strategies and your, how to say, your activities, then don't hesitate to reach out to me, to Gaurav, to Vivek. And we are always keen to understand first your topics or your projects, and you will get a feedback from us, of course, in the first step, which is committal. That means we are not charging any fees if we are starting a project or discussion, or we are talking about the scope of a project. So the invitation stands, and would be happy to get some feedback from you. So, opportunity for last questions. This is not the case. I just would like to thank you